Hey everybody, thought I'd do a quick video on bug out bags and what I put in them, some of the different things, different items that I use and what I use them for, different products that I've picked out and that I figure would be the best for a bug out bag. So, and I'm also going to show in time lapse how I put all this stuff in this bag here. This is a Maxpedition heavy use backpack, and we're going to go over some of the different items here. Like on the top, I have the Maxpedition. I call this the medic bag. You can use it for basically anything you want. I have different medical items in here. Anything that you'd have for medical emergencies, from band-aids to scissors to doing sutures, whatever you need to do. And then we got some of the rest of the medic stuff. I got a manufactured by Adventure Medical Kits. This is a from LA Police Gear. This is a smaller medic kit. It was really handy to have. This is like a surgical super glue. If you get a cut, you can bandage up the cut, or you can put that on there if you don't have a bandage. That usually works pretty good. Different hygiene products. This is, I don't know, everybody's seen these before, like Bass Pro Shop and stuff. It's supposed to be like a deodorant, but I've never really had a use to use it. But, you know, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you don't want to stink, well, that might actually come in handy. Listerine, you know, keep your mouth fresh even though you're out in the middle of nowhere. Keep the bugs off, but usually a Shimok will do just fine. Got gloves from Voodoo Tactical. Waterproof socks, these are called Sealskins, made in USA. And let's see if I can pull up the information on these. It just says Sealskins on them. See if I can open it up there where you can actually see the brand. There we go. Sealskins, made in USA. Waterproof socks, good things to have if you want to keep your feet dry. And we got move over to fire starter kits. I have tons of different things here for fire starter kits. One of them is a fire piston, and with the fire piston here, it's pretty cool. It comes in this whole little tube. You put everything together, wrap it all up, and it's all nice waterproof. But basically, you can take a little bit of charred cloth. I'll just take a little bit here and I'll just show you how this works. Put a little bit of that charred cloth and you just kind of shove it up in the end here. It's just like a piston on a car. Get a little bit more. And shove that in there. Get that in there really good. And of course this is old school methods, but basically you're going to hit it. But I'm sure if you had nothing but rocks to slap together, this would be a lot better. I give up on that. I couldn't get it to do it. However, other things like the Swedish steel, these work every freaking time. I never have a problem with these. These are good for so many thousands of strikes. I'll probably die before that thing is ever whittled away. So there's a couple different things that you can use for fire starters. I just kind of threw all this stuff in here, different types of fire starter kits, so that you can see what works and what doesn't work. And I kind of like matches myself, and things like the Swiss Fire Steel. See if there's it's called a Light My Fire. There's no other name brand on it, but you got an idea of what they look like, so you can try to find something like that, maybe on eBay or whatever. I got a Fiskars axe. I do my own braid work. This is just the shortest axe that they have, and it's pretty handy. I probably got, I don't know, close to 100 feet of 550 paracord on there, and I got some reflective cord on there as well. And I usually use a Leatherman multi-tool, so these are just extra parts for the Leatherman multi-tool. I have a blade sharpener. You just flip that around, and you can strike your blade and get a good edge on it if you need to. Some different tools. This is really handy. This is a, I believe it's my gear wrench. It's a Husky tool, Husky Pro, and has a little socket end on the end there. It's a 1/4 inch drive, but you can pop that out. You can put, I think it's a 3/8 or 5/16. I haven't seen it. It's 5/16 bit holder. So this will hold a 5/16 where it has that little bit holder where you can put a socket in there, and I got a bunch of different sockets. On the other side, it's got a 1/4 inch. In case you know, this is a kit that you can throw in the back of a vehicle if you're going on a long drive, long trip. You don't have to pack all this stuff. This is everything that you could pack if you really wanted to, but you don't have to. I got different fishing supplies. You can make your own lures, make your own jigs, anything you want. Little bobbers and little clasps. I got 2 different types of fishing reels here. Each one of these will attach on. This is a collapsing fishing pole, and everything fits in that black bag right over there. I also have right by that a flask. No, it is not alcohol. It is water, but you could put alcohol in there if you wanted to. Not saying that you should, but I put water in mine. Emery bottle of water. Now this is my idea of recycling. So you have an old computer, you're going to throw it away. You definitely don't want anybody to get a hold of the hard drive because there's a lot of information on there. That's the only thing that has information. So instead of just throwing it away, you can degauss it with a high-powered electronic magnet and do whatever you want to it. But I usually, after I do all that, is I take the disks out of the hard drive, and you can use those for a signaling mirror. It's got a nice hole in the center. It's perfect. You can look right through it whenever you are aiming at a plane or helicopter or whatever, and they're very reflective. And just put it in a little case, put some tape on it to keep it from opening up. That usually works pretty good. I've had that for years and I haven't had it fall apart. Anyhow, moving on. Along with the MRE, we have some soups and some parts from another MRE kit, instant non-fat dry milk, some tea, some chicken bouillon, which actually tastes really good whenever you heat that up with some water, if you have some water nearby. Moving on over to the water kits. I have a water purification system. This is MSR equipment. These are about $100, give or take. You can get these at Bass Pro. They are continually reusable. They have a ceramic filter, and you basically just put the whole kit together and you pump it in whatever water that you have available, and the water that you get out on the top side is going to be drinkable, potable water. Doesn't matter what you're pumping it out of. I've tried it. It actually works pretty good. There's some different bags here that I've gotten over the years, just different kits. Anything that you can basically put water in and carry, and this was originally designed for carrying water. So you could scoop up whatever water you had if you're at a campsite or something, or if you need to get someone who can't walk, doesn't have the ability to move or the mobility that you have, then you can bring the water to them. You can actually run it through this filter right here and put the water directly in the bag and carry it to them, and they have drinkable water right there on the spot. And that's definitely plenty of water in that bag. Caution. This is, I'm sure a lot of car kits have these, or they should at least, is call police. And you put this on your back of your glass on the inside. If your car is completely broke down and you need help, you can take that and unfold it, stick it on your back window or whatever. Those are real handy if you are in that kind of situation. You might not want to draw certain attention to you if you're in a really bad neighborhood, because putting a sign up saying call the police might say that come attack me or whatever. But it just depends on your situation that you're in. I have also just random plastic bags. If you take a thin sheet of plastic and you dig a hole usually about 18 inches in diameter, and I'd say maybe 10 inches to 12 inches deep, put a cup at the bottom of the hole and take the plastic bag, just a thin sheet of it, and go all the way around the hole with rocks around it, and then one in the center kind of forming a cone. The heat from the ground will cause the moisture in that air and in the ground to condensate on the inside of the plastic, and it will funnel down to that tip where you have the rock on the outside, and it will drip into the cup. Like say you take your water bottle and cut it in half. You can do that, and you can actually get water that way. There's tons of ways that you can get water. I have a book I'm working on right now called EMAP, Emergency Management Assessment Program, and it goes over these very things. Different knives. I have, this is the Case Hobo knife. They're really well built, and something like that. You got yourself a spoon, and these things all fold up. So you got a spoon, you have a fork, and your knife. I mean, those are, you can go eat a steak dinner if you want to. And then, of course, you take these and fold them back up, and they just lock right in place. And when you close it, it's locked for good. It's not coming apart. And take your spoon. There you go. And it all folds up really nice and neat. This is called a Seal revolver from SOG. So on one side, and the button is right here, so you can push that in, and it locks up. You have a good straight edge knife with a serrated edge on the end. This I keep sharp all the time, really good and handy. And if you need a saw on a tree, you just flip that sucker around. I don't know if they still make these or not, but if they do and you can get one, they're really handy to have. Look at the teeth on those. I don't know if you can see that really good, but those are some pretty massive teeth. You can do some serious cutting with that. As you can see, I've already done quite a bit of cutting with this before. But that's called a Seal revolver. And this is not the WSK Beck Tracker knife. That sucker costs about $3,000. I don't have that kind of cash just lying around to buy a knife. This is a cheap knockoff. It's I want to say it's from Red Scorpion 6. I don't even think they're even in business because they did such a crappy job with their knives. However, I do like the shape and the design. This is good for heavy chopping. It's got a saw on the top. I actually refined the teeth on it because they're really crappy. You probably couldn't cut melted butter with this if you wanted to. So I refined the teeth on it. And I'll actually make probably 2 of these knives out of Damascus steel. I'll actually draw out the pattern and cut it out, and I'll heat treat it, and I'll oil quench it myself and make my own version of this, pretty close to this model right here. But other than that, the balance is really good. The steel is probably pretty crappy, but overall I still like that style of a knife. Then I have the a poncho over here. Sorry, just kind of moving all over the place today. This is good for a lean-to. You can put this over, has a hood on it. You can wear it, keep the rain off of you. If you're not going to be keeping the rain off you by just walking around, and you want to actually have a camping spot for the night, like I said, you can make this into a lean-to, get you some sticks and prop it up, and that way you have something to sit down and keep the rain off of you, but you can maybe build a campfire or whatever. And then I have, I didn't really talk about my lighting or anything like that, so let's go over here to the ghillie. On this side I have a flashlight. This is I believe Night Star. Let's see if I can read that up here. There we go. It is Night Star CS. This is probably the closest thing I can find to a real shake flashlight. This is the type where it really doesn't have any batteries whatsoever in it. The ones that you see on TV have batteries in them on the side, so they work regardless whether you shake it or not. I think that's kind of a cheap sellout of a flashlight. You see that one shines pretty good, and that's been sitting in my pack for probably a couple months without even any kind of activity at all. If you don't want to use that, there's also, you can get these for about 99 cents a piece. They are really handy to have. And books for any kind of compasses or anything that you have is always good to keep those, or knot tying. This is a Falcon Guide, knots for climbers book, really good to have. A first aid medical kit book is also recommended to keep with you in case you have an emergency where you need to use one of these packs. And last but not least, I have a Robinson Armament XCR takedown rifle, 3 magazines, and a suppressor by double AC, and yes, I actually do carry that in a bug out bag, because when I go out, I'm going out in places where there are a lot of deer or any other kind of animals, wild hogs and stuff. And if I am out and about and my vehicle breaks down, I want to be in a place where I can take down some bigger game. If I have my entire family with me, I want to be able to take down some big enough game that I can feed my family. You go, well, seriously, you're going to go out in a place like that? Yes, I've actually gone there. So it's all up to you. You can put what you want in a bug out bag, or you can pack it any way you want. I will show every single item that you see here. I'll be able to fit in this one backpack. And the only thing I didn't mention, and of course I got a lot of stuff that hangs on the side. We got MOLLE webbing out here, which is really nice. I got a lot of my gear I can actually put on the sides. And like I said, I got one medical kit that's on the outside. It's good to have, because that keeping a medical kit readily available on the outside of your backpack, you don't have to go thumbing through the inside to get to that equipment. Let me get to my compasses. I use 2 compasses. I never use just one compass, because if one fails or I break one, then I have a backup. These are both made by Brunton. This is the newer version, and it has a nice little guide on the inside. And it has a nice little bunch of different paperwork in here, different charts that you can use. Let's see if I can get that out there. Look, there we go. So you got different charts that you can use. It's a really handy compass. I love this one. It has everything you need in there, from simple knot tying to CPR, all right there in a compass that you can wear around your neck. You put a little lanyard on it or whatever. And if you're using a map, the rubber outside covering of this is also an eraser. So if you write something on a map with a pencil, you can use that to actually erase the pencil marking. A lot of people didn't know that. The other one is also a Brunton compass. This is an older one. It's called a Pocket Transit. And if you're lucky and you can find one of these, the older ones are real expensive, but they're really handy. So this one also has a signal mirror in it. And you can use these for different things, from judging the height of an item if you need to. But I use 2 different compasses. That way I can actually use a comparison, or like I said, if one breaks, or even if you have another person with you, then you can hand them a compass and say, I'm going north by half a click, and they'll be able to know exactly where you're at. This right here is a hand warmer, and I can't remember the exact name brand, because I've had it for so long. I don't even know if they still make these. I got all the little pieces here that you put in here. You burn it with a match or a lighter, and then you close up the case, and essentially it contains all the heat and everything, and it slowly burns, and you can use this whole thing and keep your hand warm if it's really cold outside. This is, I guess, one of those older style of the hand warmers, with a little activator chip on the side, and it's full of the gel, and the gel turns white. It's kind of the same principle, except for you're using a match for this, and it does get pretty hot. So that and camo, I don't know if you can use that for anything. This is just another one of those things that I picked up. It's got a mirror in there, and that's mainly my main focus is a mirror. If you get something stuck in your eye, piece of dirt, hair, some kind of debris, you got something that you can use to actually get that debris out, then you can look in the mirror and actually be able to see what it is. If you're big in hunting and you want to go the full camo route, you can do that. That kind of goes along the lines with the ghillie suit. If you're out hunting, I do a lot of wild hog hunting and boar hog hunting. And the areas I go, I usually use a ghillie suit with all that. It just helps better in the camo. The hogs probably smell you a mile away. People don't realize how sensitive their nose is, but that kind of concludes everything that I would use in a bug out bag. I kind of change it around about once a year. I go through this thing and pick out what I think I don't need, or add something to it. And so that's just a short little video of what I got in my backpack. Right. there you go. That took just a little over 20 minutes to put everything together, and I even kind of took my time. So there you go. I can put everything in this bag. I love these Maxpedition backpacks. They're really awesome. You can put a lot of stuff in there, as you can see. If you don't want to pack all that, you don't have to. By all means, put whatever you want in there. This is just how I do it, and just to show you, you can put a lot of stuff in one of these backpacks. Have a nice day.